Welcome, Deputy Secretary General. Gender equality is the most important thing that the Council of Europe is doing at the moment, isn't it? Because everything depends on that. How are we organising our work?
Well, we do many things. We didn't start yesterday. There has been a long period of work in this particular area. We obviously have been able throughout the years to define a very clear policy in this field. We try to obviously mainstream gender equality into all the activities of the Council of Europe, and I would even say beyond, when we come into the relationship with other international organizations, for instance.
What's happening there? Because the UN's quite active in promoting gender
Absolutely.
equality.
We are reaching the 8th of March in a few days, and this is the right date every year when the United Nations convene in New York, the special body which has to deal with the gender equality, namely the Special Commission dealing with the status of women. So we will participate
and
to
what's the
that
Council of Europe's
event.
contribution to that?
Well, we are going to participate, first of all, because we have a beautiful strategy related to the gender mainstreaming. Secondly, because the meeting in New York is always an incredible opportunity for side events. And this year we are organizing two important side events. The first one, which will take place next Monday, at the very beginning of the work of the Commission itself, is organized by the Council of Europe together with the Austrian chairmanship, and the subject will be related to the question of trafficking of human beings. Why do we do that? Because most of the people who are trafficked are women and girls. So there is a good reason to come forward with this important subject, which is one of the priorities of our Austrian chairmanship in New York. With
And we have a convention.
Absolutely, with a view to make publicity, to present our convention to all these delegates from all over the world, and to say to them that this convention, yes, was done in Europe, but not for Europeans exclusively. This is a convention which is open also to countries that are not members of the Council of Europe. But the other side event that we are going to organize is also important. It will be a second event in a row that we co-organize with a number of partners. First of all, the ministry responsible for these issues in France. The minister herself, Mrs. Belkacem, will be there. But also we will do it together with Argentina and with the Organization of American States. I would like to say a few words about this second event, which is going to deal with violence against women. Why do we come together as four partners, as I have indicated? Because, as a matter of fact, there are two important conventions in the world that deal with the issue of how to protect women from violence. One is our convention, the so-called Istanbul Convention, and the other one is the Convention de Belém de Pará, which is the convention for the American countries. So on one side you have the Council of Europe, and on the other side you have the Organization of American States. So these two conventions are very important for the protection of women in the fight against violence, all forms of violence, and the intention is to show that it is not necessary, when in New York, to launch the drafting of a new convention on fighting violence, because two very important conventions exist already at these continental levels, which I've mentioned, Europe and the Americas. So we believe that these conventions being open, it would be much better for countries who do not have any legal, let's say, measure or instrument at their disposal to accede either to our convention or to the other one, but certainly not to add a new convention at the United Nations level, which maybe would even confuse a little bit things.
Our convention still only has 8 ratifications.
Exactly.
It needs 10 to come into force.
Exactly.
So what are the next steps there?
Well, we are continuing to promote. New York will be an excellent opportunity to promote our convention. There will be all our member states around, don't forget that. But also we will have very important meetings with a number of ministers from neighboring countries. I have myself already foreseen meetings with the minister responsible for gender equality from Tunisia, Morocco, Jordan, Algeria. This is very promising because it means that in addition to the countries from Europe who can ratify the convention, we can also start to count on countries from the neighborhood who might really show a very strong interest in the convention already during the meetings in New York.
And in this week's report on gender-based violence in the member states of the European Union, the Fundamental Rights Agency suggested that the European Union itself should consider acceding to the convention. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, we have to welcome. This is an excellent idea. We are very happy about this proposal, which has come forward from their side. We have not insisted so much on this because we are so keen on the process of accession to the European Convention on Human Rights. But it is true that more and more we have new conventions, open conventions, which really deal with problems that nobody else, I would say, is dealing with in other areas, not exclusively in the area of violence against women, but medicrime, cybercrime, the convention I mentioned before on illegal trafficking of human beings, etc. All these conventions are excellent instruments for all those who would like to have such instruments and do not find them in their own continent. So I'm very pleased to hear about this proposal for the European Union to accede to this convention.
Thank you very much, Deputy Secretary General.
Thank you.